with the Bucks just getting eliminated in embarrassing fashion to the Pacers in a gentleman's sweep, and Dame's injuries having him out all of next year, most likely. I feel like there's a better chance than not that Giannis asks for a trade out in Milwaukee this offseason. It seems like ages ago since that 2021 championship happened, and if he wants to win another ring, it doesn't look like that will happen with the Bucks. All that being said, in today's video, I'll be giving 3 trade ideas that could be realistic if Giannis does end up asking for a trade to another team. Keep in mind, a trade for a player of Giannis Antetokounmpo's caliber on the open market will be nothing like we've ever seen before. And a team that is willing to get him are going to have to give up a lot more assets than anyone is expecting. So without further ado, let's get to the video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. The first team I've traded for Giannis Antekenoumpo are the Houston Rockets. After losing to the Warriors in round 1 of the playoffs this year, I feel the Rockets have to make a big splash this year. With the assets to be able to pull off a trade of this caliber, with star players like Alperen Sengun, Jalen Green, and Amen Thompson, along with having plenty of valuable draft picks, they're in prime position to do this. But who will they have to give up? I think one of their 2-star players, Alperen Sengun and Amen Thompson, will have to be given up in this deal. Rockets fans don't want to do this, but you gotta just look at it like this. This won't be Luka Doncic 2.0. You're going to have to give up a lot to land a top 3 player in his prime, probably a top 10 player for the next 10 years. You're going to have to give up a lot, and I think that will end up being Alperen Sengun. Who else do you have to give on top of this? This is an interesting question. Really, I feel Jalen Green's contract will have to be in it just to be able to match the money. So Alperen Sengun, Jalen Green for Giannis Antetokounmpo. You will have to give up the picks on top of this. But what is Jalen Green's value truly right now? I mean, just put up, only scored above double digits in one playoff game this year. From game 3 to game 7, he was just completely irrelevant. Just so inconsistent. Will he ever be able to reach that potential that he's shown so often? I don't know. And then probably throw Cam Whitmore. So 3 for 1 of Alperen Sengun, Jalen Green, Cam Whitmore for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, I think that's definitely an interesting idea. You'll have to give up some picks. I feel if you give up the player of these caliber, they probably will be able to keep this first round draft pick this year. And then a lot of questions arise. Which pick will have to give in? I feel they'll have to give up a 27 pick. Will they have to give up the Brooklyn swap rights with Phoenix? No protections. My gut says this Phoenix pick, and then this 29 Phoenix pick, and then just throw in a 31 pick. I mean, I feel like the Bucks say yes to this. A star young player, 2 star young players, one just yet to reach his potential, to be quite frank. I mean, if he reaches what his flashes have shown, he's going to be such a good player. But I don't know if that's ever going to happen. He hasn't shown us a reason to believe in him. And then you throw in Cam Whitmore, another intriguing young piece. I feel like he did take a step back this year from what he was last year. But still only 20 years old. It's just a lot of promise. And then 2 very valuable first-round draft picks and another first-round pick on top of that. Probably have to throw in some swaps, a 2030 swap, a 28 swap. But then if you're the Rockets, you still get to keep 2 very good first-round picks, this 27 Brooklyn pick and this 25 Phoenix pick. And you also still have Amen Thompson, you still have Reed Shepard, you still have Tari Eason, you still have Dylan Brooks, you still have Jabari Smith Jr., We'll see if they bring back Steven Adams and Fred VanVleet, but that's still just such good depth, great players still, and this is a team that just launches into title contention if they can pull off a trade. And I think the Bucks do end up saying yes to this. So yeah, the trade will be Giannis Antetokounmpo for Alperen Sengun, Jalen Green, Cam Whitmore, 2 very valuable first-round picks, and then a 31 pick down the line that I don't feel like will be a great pick, but I mean, I don't know. We'll see. That's in 6 years. A lot can happen in 6 years. So yeah, let's get to the next trade. The next team that I have included on the Giannis sweepstakes is going to be a 3-team trade here with the New Orleans Pelicans and the Portland Trail Blazers. The main motive behind this is that the Pelicans and the Trailblazers own all of the Bucks draft capital. Essentially, right now they own none of the first round draft picks until 2031. And the teams that own them are the Pelicans from the Drew Holiday trade and the Trailblazers from the Dame Lillard trade. So, which team? I don't feel like the Trailblazers will want to get Giannis. I don't think they're quite in title contention yet. And Giannis will take a lot of driving and paint touches from a Denny Adia, from a Shaedon Sharpe. I think I will have him going to the Pelicans here. And then Milwaukee will give all of their picks back. So their 26 or 27 pick. And their 28, 29 pick. And for the Blazers to be able to give up these very valuable first-round draft picks, I think this could be a Zion for Giannis-esque trade with Zion going to the Blazers. But then what will the Bucks get besides their draft picks? I mean, for Giannis, you're going to have to give him more. Trey Murphy showed a lot of good things this year. I mean, on this just horrendous Pelicans team this year, he was a highlight, just a scoring machine for the Pelicans. And is a very exciting young asset to add to this Pelicans team. Another player of the Pelicans I feel like we'll have to throw in is Yves Missi. Not the greatest first-round draft pick. I mean, for where he was taken, great value, but not the premier young asset that the Bucks are probably looking for. But then I think this is where it gets interesting. What are the Blazers willing to give up to get Zion Williamson? What is his value right now to other teams? It's a very interesting question to be asking right now. No one in the league knows. And for giving up 2 first-round draft picks, who do they have to give up? They're going to have to give up good money to get Zion Williamson. I'm not really sure who they give up. You don't want to give up a Scoot. You don't want to give a Denny Adbia. Would you be willing to part ways with a Shaedon Sharpe? Blazers fans will not want to do that. But for a player of Zion's caliber, when he is healthy, he is a top 15, top 10 player in this league. But will he ever be healthy? That's the question his whole time. And he's shown us nothing to make us see that he will be healthy because he's been injured so much over these last years, ever since he was drafted. So, what are the Blazers willing to part ways? They're already giving up 2 very good first-round draft picks. And the first asset to make the money work, I think, is Anthony Simons. The Bucks probably don't keep. They probably flip him to an Orlando Magic, to a team that just needs scoring, like a true point guard. He's making a lot of money, but he's only 25 and is still a very good player. And for Zion Williamson, you'll probably have to give a little bit more. But will it be a player like Shaedon Sharpe or more like a Toumani Camara? It's a good question. I mean, Zion Williamson, 2 first-round draft picks, Anthony Simons, and Shaedon Sharpe, I feel like it's a little too much for the Blazers to be giving up. Maybe a Toumani Camara showed so much defensive upside this year. And every year he's in the league. Just a throw-in the Dame Lillard trade. And is now one of the premier young assets on this team. And he's such a good contract. $2.2 million for 2 years. I mean, it's just insane for a player like Toumani Camara. I think could be a very good asset to this Bucks team going forward. So, Bucks in return for Giannis land Trey Murphy, Yves Missi, Anthony Simons, Toumani Camara, a 2026 first-round draft pick, a 2027 first-round draft pick, a 2028 first-round draft pick, a 2030 draft pick, which are all theirs. So this is an interesting scenario that the Bucks just want to completely tank. Because with a roster, Toumani Camara, Anthony Simons, Yves Missi, Trey Murphy, Bobby Portis, Dame Lillard probably won't play, Kyle Kuzma, KPJ, you bring back Gary Trent Jr., Andre Jackson. I mean, this is not inspiring me very much. But you probably flip Anthony Simons for more young assets and draft capital. I mean, going forward, I think you tank for a couple years. Trey Murphy develops, even Missy develops. Toumani Camara stays a very good defender. In a couple, 3 or 4 years, this team can be back to being on top of this league. But if the Bucks, when they give up Giannis, just want to completely tank for good draft picks, I mean, this is how you do it. You get all of your picks back and some young players on top of Giannis Antekenoumpo. I feel like this is a very good trade for the Bucks to end up making. The final Giannis trade I'm going to have in today's video is Giannis going to the New York Knicks. So this is the third route that the Bucks could go. With the Rockets, they're looking for good young assets. Still, they're not going to win a bunch of games next year, but, in the next 1 or 2 years, still going to be a very competitive team. I think with the next trade with the Blazers and the Pelicans, I mean, they're just looking to be bad for, 4 or 5 years as they get their draft picks back, which they obviously can do with the Rockets trade. And they can just go into full-blown tank mode for a little bit, along with some pretty intriguing young assets that they could flip or just continue rolling along with. And this is the third route that they could go and try to remain competitive right now. And it's something like a Giannis for Karl-Anthony Towns trade, which I think all depends on how far the Knicks do go this year. I mean, if they go, it's looking that they could go to the finals right now, up 2-0 against the Celtics. I mean, if they go to the conference finals, if they go to the finals, I mean, I think they do look to keep their core together. But if the Boston comes back, blows out Knicks, wins in 5-6 games, I'm going to think this could be a route for the Knicks to go to try to improve their defense, get a second. I see Cat's definitely a star, but not to the point that Giannis is, and get another star alongside Jalen Brunson that just does the things that Cat doesn't. Defends. Yeah, that's about it. He doesn't do much else besides that. But yeah, I mean, doesn't have to take the ball away from Jalen Brunson in clutch time. When the final shot's coming around, Jalen Brunson still got that. But Giannis can just do everything on the offensive end and get those rebounds, attack the paint, get attention away from their shooters. Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, along with just providing that interior defensive presence that they do have with Mitchell Robinson, but just not to the point that Giannis is. Just, he's going to kind of operate as a free safety around this, having OG locking up their best defender. You got Mikal Bridges, you got Josh Hart, just such a good defensive team now around Jalen Brunson. Who else do you have to give him a trade like that? Become Me Daddy Ed, I think, is definitely a project, but could be thrown into this. And then you probably will have to throw in a member of the Nova Knicks to get this deal done. Will it be Josh Hart or will it be Mikal Bridges? Mikal Bridges definitely holds a lot more value to the Knicks or to the Bucks than a Josh Hart does. And the Knicks also don't have a lot of draft capital to work with. So the trade I have here happening is a Mikal Bridges for Kyle Kuzma swap, which obviously Knicks fans are like, no, please don't do this. But Giannis is definitely upgrading the defense and making up for the defensive deficiencies of Kyle Kuzma to a Mikal Bridges swap. And you still have a very good starting five of Giannis, Mitchell Robinson, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, and Jalen Brunson. You've got Kyle Kuzma as a sixth man. That's a much better role for him than what he was doing with the Bucks. And then you've got Miles McBride. You can add more people in the offseason with some trades. Maybe try to flip Kyle Kuzma for more depth. I don't know what team's doing that, but I mean, that's probably the idea. And then you don't have a lot of great draft capital, but you're going to have to give it all up in this trade. But you're probably going to do this Wizards pick, a swap on this New York Knicks pick, this, and then you don't really own much else. Maybe this 2030 pick. And then I think it will have to be three first rounders and a first round pick swap with Cat, Pacom Daddy and Mikal Bridges. You do end up taking the Kyle Kuzma money, which obviously you don't want to do. But to make this deal more enticing over all the young assets that other teams are going to be giving up, I think you will have to end up doing that. And then you get Mikal Bridges, you get Karl-Anthony Towns, you get Bakomi Dadia, which he's a couple years away still. But he's only 19, has a lot of promise. And then you roll up a lineup. You sign some people in the offseason. You have Cat and Mikal Bridges as your stars. And then, probably not this year, but the year after that, this team, I mean, it's looking good. If you can add some more great defenders around Dame and Cat, I mean, title contenders, I don't know, but still a very good team. And you look to win now instead of just going into full tank mode, like my other two trades, more or so happen. So yeah, I just tried 3 different avenues that I think the Bucks could go for with Giannis Antekenoumpo trade. Maybe they should look to blow it all up, tank. Maybe they'll look to win now. I think it's just interesting. They obviously don't have to trade, and these are all hypotheticals. And I don't these trades aren't exact, like what exactly we'll go for. But I just wanted to try an idea and like a general mindset of what the Bucks could look for if they end up trading, debatably, their best player in franchise history. And also debatably a top 20 player of all time. But that's all I'll say. Giannis is going to go for a lot of young assets, draft picks, and more. He's 30 years old, in the middle of his prime, will be a top 5, top 3 player for years past this. Could still be playing when he's 40 in 10 years and still be a top 15, top 20 player in this league. And man, what he did this season was just unbelievable. And he's been doing this for a while. And this Knicks team does get interesting. So that's going to do for me. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.